where are we now? My daughter has been severely brainwashed. If you can get this book, it's entitled Children Held Hostage, Dealing with Programmed and Brainwashed Children. You can buy this through the Bar Association in Chicago. This book could be used as a how-to book instead of preventing brainwashing. And that's what these evil people do, such as Ronald Richter, Nina Gross, Nellis Kim, and the judges involved. And on page 142, identifying and dealing with the point of no return. That's where little DeAndrea is at. She's at the point of no return. She will never, ever go home to her mother. She won't even visit her mother because she has been so programmed by the paramour, of course, obviously the pedophile, and his paramour, her illegal, illegitimate children, and her legitimate children, and all the friends that they gather together, including there's a woman that lives on Liberty Avenue in Selden, Patricia, and she also is protecting the pedophile. So it means that the friends of this pedophile are also pedophiles, because nobody protects a pedophile unless you're a pedophile yourself. The child was never permitted to testify in court against her father. That's why they put her in state custody. They put her in state custody for a period of 5 years, and that was so the statute of limitations on sexual abuse would run its course. There is no longer a statute of limitations of 5 years on sex abuse. I was a part of going to Albany, pleading with them to eliminate that statute of limitations, and it has been done. So there is no longer a statute of limitations on sexual abuse. However, back then there was, and so the father was protected. And the system that protected him were the judges Gloria Sosa-Lintner, Susan R. Larrabee, Helen C. Sturb, Ronald Richter, who now works for Children's Services. Can you imagine that? A pedophile protector is working for Children's Services. This is outrageous how John Mattingly, who is the commissioner of Children's Services, is allowing a pervert with an identity problem to be overseeing all these children in the city of New York. How could you possibly have a pedophile protector, Ronald Richter, sitting, overseeing all the children in Children's Services in Manhattan? One of the other programmers was Lauren Greenwald. She programmed the child for a period of years. Your mother's no good, your mother's no good, your mother's no good. Your mother's mentally disturbed, your mother's mentally disturbed. Just over and over and over for 3 years. This is the paramour that she's with. And by the way, she was paid by the state to do fostering, and she's an illegal foster mother. Totally illegal. If you Google DeAndrea, D-Y-A-N-D-R-I-A, there's many, many pages and much information. You can learn a lot about what's going on with this case, the details. And also if you call the phone number 212-252-2515, you'll learn about even more of those involved in the cover-up and conspiracy to protect this retired detective from the rape and sodomy of his own daughter. Now, when she was living at home, she had her IQ tested twice by professionals. and she was above average. She was very intelligent, she was doing very well in school, and she was reading on grade level, and her math skills were a whole year above grade level. Now, the child is immature, she's below average IQ, and she's miserable. She thinks of herself as being wicked. When she lived at home, she thought of herself as being a fairy princess. So it's very, very different, and you cannot, once you brainwash a child, and she's heavily brainwashed, there's no hope for her to ever be normal, and that's because I haven't seen her since 2001, so she's only heard the side of the programmers and the brainwashers and never the truth. And that is a fact, but the child doesn't know that because she only knows what she's hearing. And he continues to keep her brainwashed because he doesn't want her to look at the pictures, have her memory come back to the sex abuse, which he's made sure that she thinks now is not true. He's made her believe that. But we do have, when she went to court, the only time she went to court was to testify against her mother so she could place her own mother in jail for 3 years. She did state on court record that she didn't want anybody to know that she was sexually abused because she wouldn't have any friends, nobody would like her, they would think she was weird, and she also stated she'd never get a job. Nobody would want to hire her. That was whoever programmed her to believe those things, and she still believes them because her mind isn't open to look other places. What about Oprah? Oprah is a billionaire, very successful woman, one of the most successful women in the world, and she speaks candidly and openly. We have all this evidence, but exculpatory evidence was concealed and ignored by the lawyers, Nina Gross, who works at the Borish firm, and Ronald Richter, who is now employed by the Administration for Children's Services. That's Child Protective Services. How could they put a pedophile protector in such a high position in Children's Services? Well, now you know what Children's Services is all about. And now that you know that Ronald Richter was directly on this case, he was directly involved in this case, he knows about the pictures, he knows that this man was caught masturbating in bed with his daughter, he has his hand covering his penis, and the child's protecting herself when he snuggles his way in bed with the child. Ronald Richter knows all this, and yet Child Protective Services hired him to be overseeing all the children in the city of New York? It's ludicrous.